a bid for state rep in the city of Pittsfield. That is district or 3rd Berkshire. Okay, the South County is 4th. Why did you decide to do that, Chris?
Well, as I mentioned today, when I made my formal announcement, the past 4 years that I've been on the city council, I feel I've been able to accomplish several things, but it seems that I reach a point where I'm hitting the ceiling, and I can't do any more locally to help the city, and I think I need to make the next step so that I can help the city even more.
This is about leveraging your ability to do that?
That's correct.
I'm curious, are you running as a Democrat, an independent, a Republican, a libertarian? What are you?
Currently, and I have been since I've moved back here, 13 years ago, I'm classified as unenrolled, and I really have to make a decision before March 1st to decide whether I'm going to run under a party flag or whether I'm going to stay as independent.
Okay. If you won the seat as an unenrolled, which is a possibility, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Who would you caucus with? Which party?
That's a decision to be made later. I've got to get to this step first.
Would it be fair to say, though, that you would lean towards the Democratic side?
It's possible, and the reason why, Dan, is because the majority of the positions are in that party. In order to get things done, it's better to go with people that you have more votes on. However, I want to emphasize, I am an independent. I'm a conservative, but I'm also a liberal. So I'm right down.
Conservative on what issues, liberal on what others?
Conservative as far as spending increases.
So fiscal conservative,
yes,
social liberal, fair
yes,
characterization?
Yes.
What is not happening now? Our current, or Pittsfield's current representative is Tricia Farley Bouvier. What is she not doing, or what is not happening now that you could add if you are successful in this bid?
Sure. Excuse me. Again, I brought up a couple of these things today to some of the media that was there. I'm sorry I missed you.
Yeah, we know we had responded. We'd show up if we were around, but we were out of town again.
I understand.
Yep. So we're doing it this way.
That's right.
This way I get an exclusive.
That's right. You certainly do. Some of the things that I see that as a counselor working at the local level in local government, we need to get funding for certain issues that we cannot accomplish here in the city by ourselves. All right. And some of that funding does not necessarily mean tax increases.
What would one of those issues be?
Let me give you a perfect example. Let's look at our Chapter 90 money that comes in.
That's for the schools.
No,
that's for
that's
highway.
Chapter 70.
Yeah.
Chapter 90 is for the roads and sidewalks and things like that. Last year, the city of Pittsfield received $2 million. That figure is based on the miles of accepted streets that you have in the city. Okay. However, most of that money is supposed to go to maintain the streets and sidewalks for all those miles in the city. However, a little more than half of the formula, all right, is only based on the miles of accepted streets you have. The other two factors are population and employment. Those two factors have very little to do with the maintenance of the streets. So I feel that I would, if I'm elected to be state rep, I would like to advocate to change that formula so it's more equitable for the amount of accepted streets that you have in a city or town.
Interesting answer, but getting back to do you expect Tricia Farley Bouvier to be your opponent? There are a lot of rumors going on out there about what may or may not happen. Do you know something we don't, which is why you're running for this seat?
No.
Okay.
No, I have heard the
Well,
rumors.
let's assume that she is your opponent. Give her a grade on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a lousy job, 10 being perfect game. Where would you put her?
Maybe a 5 or 6.
Okay.
Just being honest.
And yeah, absolutely, and we appreciate that. And you are presumably saying you could up that number.
Yes.
What are some of the other issues then that you intend to hit hard on in this campaign?
Okay. We touched a little bit on it as far as some of the educational needs, the Chapter 70 money. We have in that budget, or it's called the foundation budget. We, as you know, Pittsfield has 50% or more of the student population is at free or reduced lunches.
Yeah, it's approaching 70%.
Yeah.
70.
Well, it was 55 the last time I got the number from the superintendent.
The last number we heard was 63,
and
which is probably about a year old now. So it's at least that and more.
Now, so you have to look at how that formula, all right, is figured out for each city and town. You are given a credit, so to speak, for the higher level that you have in the free and reduced lunches. However, there are other problems that go along with those type of numbers.
Talk into the mic there, Chris. Yeah.
I hope that was heard. There's other problems that go along with that level of poverty for the most part.
There sure are. We were talking about it with Mayor Tyre, just some of the crime that we're experiencing now in Pittsfield, directly related to poverty.
Right, and I can touch on, if we have time, I'd like to touch on it.
Yeah, we've got time, about 18 minutes.
Okay, but let's go back to the Chapter 70 money. So they give you, in the formula, they give you credit for the most part, for a small amount of credit for that high level of free and reduced lunches. But it also indicates that there's other problems that need to be addressed, such as the need for adjustment counselors, the need for alternate schools, okay, because there are those families that have I hate to say have issues, but they're challenged families.
Yeah.
They're the single family, single parent households trying to make a living, and they may not have the time to devote fully to their children to properly prepare them, and so so that we need adjustment counselors as a result of it, which came up in the last budget. Those items are not factored into the Chapter 70 money, which is wrong, right? If you have these type of problems as far as income, all right, then you're also going to have these other problems, which also.
Do you know that there's any form of legislation pending on the Hill
that would correct this?
Would you introduce legislation to that effect?
I certainly would, as I would for the Chapter 90 money.
Okay. What about the argument, though, that as we get into higher poverty levels, it indicates that we have problems elsewhere and that we're going to need counselors and additional help? What about the argument that that's essentially rewarding failure, that the more poverty we have, the more money we get?
Good point. However, I don't consider it a reward. Okay, I think at a point it becomes a necessity to ensure the safety of the students. So reward, I think, is the wrong terminology to use. I'll be honest with you.
Okay. Let's get to a procedural question. Will you be able to run for this seat and win this seat and still be Ward 4 counselor for the city of Pittsfield?
Yes.
That is definitive.
Yes.
This came up on the internet today, and I don't know if you saw my post, but
I did. Yes.
I thought that was the case, and I said I think. I'm not sure, but you know that is the case?
Yes.
So you can do both?
Yes.
You think you'll be able to do both and serve two masters well?
This question came up today from the media also. I really feel I will, because of the scheduling. There may be on a rare occasion where there may be a conflict, and at that time, then I have to step back. I have to analyze what's on the agenda at the local level and state level and decide which one is more important.
Interesting question. How much time do you think a representative needs to be in Boston. You know, they're out of session a lot and they're back and forth. How much time would you have to